At a very crucial juncture in Jesus' life, after his resurrection and before his ascension, he asked Peter this question: Simon, son of John, do you love me? Now, why this question? Why not the question, Simon, son of John, do you remember everything I have said and taught? Or are you up to this? See, if I were Jesus, the question I would have asked Peter would have been, you just denied me 3 times. Can I still trust you? Why the question, do you love me? I think the reason why Jesus asked this question was because Jesus' ministry was about love. And he was about to entrust to Peter, and through him to the other apostles, and indeed to the entire church, to you and to me, the ministry of love. Peter would have to learn to love God in the way that Jesus loved God. Peter would have to be faithful to God in the same way that Jesus was faithful to God. Unless Peter loved God in the way Jesus did, the entire mission was at risk. Jesus' mission would end up in failure. But there's a second part to this. Once Peter confesses to Jesus that he loved Jesus by saying, Lord, you know that I love you, and Peter did love Jesus, Jesus immediately says to Peter, feed my lambs. In other words, there is a connection between Jesus' love for God, which Peter must learn, and Jesus' love for people, which also Peter must learn. In other words, Peter must learn to love people the way Jesus loved people. Jesus loved people with gentleness and kindness. He was patient with sinners. He was understanding of the weak. And those on the peripheries of society and religion, he brought them into the mainstream. Jesus taught his followers to love their enemies, to forgive those who hate them, to give without measure, to give the cloak off their back, to walk the extra mile, to stop judging. He simply loved. Unless Peter learned to love people the way Jesus loved people, Jesus' entire ministry would be at risk. Folks, today, religion is not always associated with love. In fact, organized religion is failing. People are choosing not to believe in organized religion. And this is worrisome for me and for those who truly understand what religion and faith is all about. Very often, religion is associated with rejection, with judgment, with condemnation. But the question that Jesus asked Peter was, do you love me? Are you prepared to love like I have loved? See, when opposition began to build against Jesus, somebody came and asked him, which commandment is the greatest? And Jesus took all the commandments of the Judaic religion and brought them under 2 equally important commandments: radical love of God and radical love of people. And he died because he was faithful and uncompromising to these 2 commandments. Today, Jesus is asking us the same question. if our faith must survive, if our religion must grow, it'll only be because we have learned to love God and love people the way Jesus did. So Jesus asks us today, do you love me? The choice is ours.